Good Sunday morning, friends. Bit of coffee this morning. It's supposed to be a nice day here in Portland, May 5th. Don't know of any Cinco de Mayo protests going on, but damn, everything got harder to find. Facebook's become not too interesting. Part of it's my feeds. I've only got kind of depressing things coming into my feeds, depending on your aspect. So, what's going on in the world of pollutions? Didn't look at the news this morning. I'm sure you won't find anything out there because the media doesn't talk about it enough. It's not just about CO2, it's about the future of our world. So, pollution's a funny thing. The plant I worked at down in Texas, outside of Houston, brand new, two plants, world class, huge, massive production capable facilities, but they actually weren't that big in the scope of Texas chemical plants, but they were big. So, right next to that plant was one of the joint partners places that made plastic, PVC. Another medium-sized facility. And one of the biggest problems with that facility was if they had a huge major upset and it happened once every year or three, it would coat all the cars out in the parking lot with plastic. And they'd have to get professional companies come in and clean cars. And they did that a few times. And the process, whatever, never got totally fixed, and it happened again. So there were a few times during our startup when you came out to plastic cars, and it's just kind of interesting because you know that layer of plastic came from the air, and you know that air is the same stuff you breathe. Now, most of it settled out early, and because it was airborne, it still was kind of in a liquid form. So when it landed, it did coat the cars. Looked like it was professionally done almost. So that was a little release thing. That was a little bit of plastic in the atmosphere from a neighboring plant. And eventually that was solved, I'm pretty sure. But I never paid much attention to it because, you're surrounded by these things. You have a mile drive to get out of anything that doesn't look like a refinery. So I don't know. I suppose you just realize that's how life is. And you take a lung capacity test once a year to make sure life is not going to kill you sooner than maybe you'd hoped. That's life in a chemical plant. Men walked in and out of those places day in, day out, knew exactly what they were doing. You can sit out on your farm and talk about how great your farm is, but all these things are what got us here, for better or worse. And better is how I lean. So, when I do a Fukushima video, the Fukushima in the title gets me about double to triple the views. And I kind of get it because if I get off topic in other areas, I can hurt people's feelings. And Fukushima is important. A lot of people care about it. But it is a lesson. If it was a singularity, we could call it a miracle and expect it never to happen again. But that's just not how these things work. These systems are so complicated. Got into a little debate about if MOX fuel was put into TMI or Chernobyl. How could somebody well, I guess it's easy. Go look at the information out there and the histories, and it fades with time, and the victor writes history. Remember that? Always remember that. So, I haven't got any words of wisdom, but this is my 5 minutes short, so. Maybe I'll think of something. Somebody toss me an idea. Peace out. Love. Good Sunday. Gonna clean gutters this afternoon. Yay.